Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on the channel, and in today's video we will be going through each AFL team's highest ever ladder placement since 2013. I've got all 18 AFL teams on this list, so make sure to stick around to see your team and what their highest ladder position placement has been since the 2013 season. We'll get straight into the video. Starting off with the Adelaide Crows, their highest ever placement on the AFL ladder since 2013 was in 2017, where they finished top of the table with a total amount of 15 wins, 6 losses and 1 draw. And obviously they did compete in the 2017 AFL Grand Final against Richmond, so they had a ripping season all throughout the year, just wasn't able to get the Grand Final win. They had a percentage of 136, which was also the highest percentage out of everyone else in the home and away season, and we will get straight on to the Brisbane Lions. Moving on to the Brisbane Lions, their highest placement on the ladder since 2013 was in 2020, where they finished second on the table with a total amount of 14 wins and 3 losses, no draws. I think they ranked around 4th or 5th for the highest amount of percentage in the top 8 for 2020. They had a total percentage of 124.9, and they won their last 5 games heading into the final series for 2020. Then I'm pretty sure they went out in straight sets, just like they do a lot of times in finals nowadays. Now moving on to Carlton, they go back way further on the list than a lot of the other teams do. Since 2013, their highest ladder placement was in 2013, where they finished 8th on the table. Now obviously the Blues haven't performed too well over the past few years, and being 8th for their highest table finish probably isn't good enough, and especially their fans and everyone saying that they're going to make finals pretty much every year, year after year after year. They just say that they're going to make finals and they never do, and their last good ladder placement was in 2013 and they finished 8th, so probably not the best to be flexing, talking about they're going to make finals here and there when they never do. They actually lost 3 out of their last 5 games as well heading into the final series. I think they maybe won 1 game in the finals, if I am remembering correctly. They won 11 games, lost 11 games, drew 0, and had a total percentage of 106.7 in the 2013 Premiership season. Next up we have Collingwood, and for Collingwood's highest placement on the ladder since 2013, they had 2018, where they finished 3rd on the table, obviously making it through to the grand final, but Dom Sheed stopping the hopes of the Pies fans seeing a flag since 2010. 13 wins in the 2018 season with 7 losses, no draws for the Pies in the 2018 year. They finished 3rd on the ladder and had a percentage of 120.4. And for the Essendon Bombers, highest ladder placement since 2013, they finished 7th position in the 2017 AFL season. Finishing 7th on the table, they had a percentage of 106.5 with 48 points, just missing out on top 6 position. Now moving on to Freo, surprisingly they finished 1st in 2015 with a total amount of 17 wins and only 5 losses. Now obviously it would be very rare to see the Dockers do that again in the next few years. But we had a total of 68 points finishing in the home and away season, and had a percentage of 118.7, which was actually one of the lowest in the top 8. It was only ranked, I think, 6th out of the whole top 8 in terms of percentage in the home and away season in 2015. We got the wins, and that's all that really matters because we did finish 1st on the table. Next up we have the Geelong Cats, finishing 1st in 2019, being their best obviously ladder placement since the 2013 season. They had 16 wins and 6 losses with 0 draws happening in the home and away season. They did finish 1st with a total amount of 64 points, tied up with 2nd and 3rd position with Brisbane and Richmond as well, and had the highest percentage in the league in 2019, being 135.7. Moving on to one of the newer teams, we have the Gold Coast Suns, and really just haven't been the best over the past, since they really started in the AFL. Their best ladder placement was in 12th position back in 2014 with a total amount of 10 wins and 12 losses, so losses dominating the wins in terms of win-loss ratio in their best season ever, which isn't very good for the Suns. They should be performing a lot better in the next few years, you would think. as they should start kicking in to gear and hopefully making finals footy in the next couple of years. Next up, we have the GWS Giants finishing 4th in 2016 with a total amount of 16 wins and only 6 losses in this season. Now, obviously, they made it through to the prelim final and got knocked out against the Bulldogs in 2016 at their home ground as well. They had a total amount of 64 points ending the season, tied up with Adelaide and the West Coast Eagles. They had one of the highest percentages in the top 8, finishing with 143.1%. Next up is the Hawthorn Hawks, and just squeezing in, they finished first position in 2013 with a total amount of only 3 losses in this year, with a total amount of 19 wins, and also taking over the Premiership Cup in this year over the Freo Dockers. They had the most points in the league, which was 76, and just scraped out the most percentage by 0.1% over the Cats with 135.7%. Now, moving on to the team that were previously the minor premiers of the AFL, it was the Melbourne Demons, finishing first in 2021. Obviously, this list dates back to 2013, and back then the D's just weren't really in that good a form. They were getting smashed by nearly 100 points around like 5 times every season. So not a good performance from the D's back then, but they did end up being minor premiers in the 2021 season, scraping out just the minor premiers with a kick after the siren to determine who would be the minor premiers, and it was the D's coming in first, 17 wins, 4 losses, and win the Premiership Cup. Moving on to North Melbourne, who were previously the Wooden Spooners in the 2021 season. They finished 6th in the 2014 AFL season, where they had their best performance in terms of ladder placement since 2013. They had a total of 14 wins and 8 losses, and had a percentage of 117 on the dot. A total amount of 56 points, equaling with Port Adelaide in 5th position. And yeah, made finals footy, didn't do too bad in finals, but did get kicked out, I think, in the second round. Moving on, next we have one of more recent teams to be doing successful in the league. We have Port Adelaide finishing first in the 2020 AFL season with a total amount of 14 wins and 3 losses. Obviously, because of the shortened games because of coronavirus, there wasn't as many rounds played as there usually would in a normal fixture. So they finished first on the ladder with 56 points, tying up with Brisbane in second place. Had the second highest percentage after Geelong with 136.4%. Moving on to one of the best teams over the past 5 years, it is the Richmond Tigers, finishing in first place in 2018, and the only year where they lost the Premiership Cup and they finished top of the table. Obviously, they won it in 2017, didn't come first, won it in 2019, didn't come first there either, and also won it in 2020, didn't come first there either. So the 1 year where they, within 4 years, that they didn't come first on the ladder, they won every grand final in that year. So they won 18 games in 2018, lost 4, percentage of 136.1, and easily took out the points and the games won by 2 games against the up-and-coming West Coast in second place. Moving on to the Saints, their best season since 2013 in terms of ladder placement was in 2020, so a pretty recent year, finishing 6th on the table with a total amount of 10 wins and 7 losses, a percentage of 116.2, and a total amount of points with 40. Now on to the Sydney Swans. They had a ripping year in 2016, finishing first on the table, however not being able to win against the Dogs, who finished 7th on the table in 2016. They had a total amount of 17 wins and 5 losses, 0 draws for them in the 2016 season, and tied up with points at 68 with Geelong and Hawthorn in that year, but they took out the highest percentage with 151.2. Moving on to West Coast now, their best year from 2013 was in 2015, where they finished 2nd on the table, just after the Dockers, finishing with 16 wins, 5 losses and 1 draw, and also with 148.2%, the second highest in this year. Now moving on to the Dogs, their best finishing season was actually the previous season just gone, where they finished 5th in 2021 with a total amount of 15 wins and 7 losses. Now obviously they had the chance to be minor premiers, but they just dropped off for the last few rounds in the home and away season, finishing 5th but still their best season in terms of ladder placement since 2013. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more AFL content. Obviously, the content has been pumping out pretty consistently over the past couple of weeks. If you did enjoy, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in my next one.